Dr. Dunn back with you in our First Warned Weather Center this afternoon as we continue to watch some really strong thunderstorms move across East Alabama and West Georgia. And we're back because now we have a special weather statement for Coosa County and Tallapoosa County. And I'm really concerned about the lightning this afternoon. Folks, we were just on the air talking about lightning and how dangerous it was, and we even actually mentioned Lake Wedowee. Now I am being told that multiple people were struck by lightning just less than an hour ago up at Flat Rock Park on Lake Wedowee. I'm told that, and I don't like to go with information that hasn't been confirmed, and I do not have names, and even if I did, I would not share them. But I'm told that one of them was pretty serious. But that person has been revived, and I assume is being transported. So this is no joke. This is serious stuff, folks, and we've got some deadly lightning out there this afternoon. So I want you to watch what's going on here and look at this storm coming out of Coosa County into Tallapoosa County. Lots of lightning around the Alexander City area right now. Downstream, you folks in New Site, Jackson Gap, Daviston, and I think eventually this is going to make it, certainly is going to make it over into northern Chambers and probably into southern Randolph as well. So if you are doing anything outside today and you're anywhere in eastern Coosa, anywhere in Tallapoosa, anywhere in Chambers, southern Clay, pretty much anywhere in Randolph, you need to be at a place of safety. You need to be inside. You don't need to be sitting outside under a tree. You don't need to be at the lake under a tree, in a tent, anywhere near a body of water. You just need to call it a day and find somewhere safe. Your automobile is actually a pretty safe place to be during a lightning storm because of the tires on your automobile. You're insulated. Yeah, we have a severe thunderstorm warning. So now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Tallapoosa and Coosa counties of east central Alabama. Actually, they did not put Coosa in it. It's just for Tallapoosa. So let me just read the text of this warning just coming in from the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Tallapoosa County in east central Alabama until 5:15 p.m. At 4:31 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Alexander City, moving to the east at around 30 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm includes 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail, and this is radar indicated. But again, the one thing that is not criteria for severe weather is the one main danger that we have this afternoon, and that's the lightning. You can see that we've had 79 lightning strikes in this frame in the last 2 minutes. So some serious lightning is taking place in this storm coming out of Coosa into Tallapoosa County. So you need to be indoors. You need to be away from electrical appliances. You need to be out from under trees. You need to be inside a home. If you have no other options, your automobile is actually a good place to be during an electrical storm. And again, this severe thunderstorm warning now just issued by the National Weather Service office at Birmingham and is in effect until 5:15 this afternoon for Tallapoosa County. Another big storm down there just south of Lynette, right there on the Alabama-Georgia state line, just to the east of Valley. And that's moving to the northeast, so you folks right there along I-85 from Shawmut all the way up to past the Kia Motors plant, probably all the way up to the LaGrange exit. Need to heed that storm down there. That's a pretty good sized storm. It's got a pretty good looking hail core in it, so I would not at all be surprised to see this one go severe here in the next few minutes as well. We'll monitor Atlanta to see if they pull the trigger on that one. Big storm still sitting down there just south of Opelika. It's moving off to the northeast. Auburn, you're fine for the time being. Though you do have a storm down there in the extreme southern part of the county, that should go northeast as well. So I think the city of Auburn is okay for the time being. You folks down there in Casita, you got a heavy cell coming right up through your backyard. It is not severe, and we don't see any hail with it right now, but all of these storms are just blowing up this afternoon in the heat of the day, and they're causing some problems. Heavy storm continues now just south of Roanoke. This is, hang on just 1 second. Now we'll get a little better look at that. And just bear with me because I'm doing multitasking. Okay. This storm just southeast of Roanoke, just northwest of Standing Rock, south of Rock Mills. It's raining in Rock Mills, but if there's any hail, and most of the lightning is south of Rock Mills, this will move on off to the northeast. It'll head toward Glenn over in Georgia. So the heaviest part of this one may stay out of Rock Mills. Bacon Level, get ready, though. You got another heavy rain band about to move right over you. And then, of course, you see what's going on over here in Heard County. Heavy rain just west of Franklin. Highway 34, not a good ride from the Alabama-Georgia state line all the way to Franklin. Heavy rain up there in central Hatchie. But the main reason we came back is for this storm right here in Tallapoosa County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Tallapoosa County, and it goes until 5:15 this afternoon. As you see, several spots where we may see some hail. That's just south of Alexander City. The core of the storm coming through Alexander City at this time. Actually, the hail beacon doesn't look quite as strong as it did. At about 30%. Yeah, have to zoom out a little bit to make that work. Let's try that one more time. All right, so we're looking, it's in Alexander City right now. We're looking at Budston in about 37 minutes, Daviston in about 40 minutes. If it holds together, Frog Eye in about 44 minutes, Shiloh in about 50, Markooth in about 54 minutes, Abanda about 55 minutes away, Milltown about an hour, and Pennon about an hour as well. That's for this storm that's over there at Alexander City. Now, we've got a couple of different markers showing up because we've got a couple of areas of this storm that's pretty intense. This one is probably moving more like so. Sometimes you really have to kind of use some common sense with the algorithms on these radars. And I know that the radar thinks it's moving more to the east-southeast, but the storm as a whole is moving to the northeast. So let's say for the upper part of this storm, it's already raining in New Site, but that's not the heavy part of the storm. The heavy part of the storm, 20 minutes to New Site, Daviston about 37, Frog Eye about 42. Get up there around Wadley in about 49 minutes, Southern Union in about 50 minutes, Abanda about 53, and Milltown in about an hour. That's for this whole complex that's down here in Tallapoosa County, stretching from about Alexander City all the way up to New Site, and it's moving off to the east-northeast at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. LaGrange, you got storms just south of you now that's moving northeast, so I don't think it gets into LaGrange proper, though you've got some lightning strikes that have already taken place right there on top of the city of LaGrange. So you've got a storm in the area now. This stuff back over here around Alexander City, if it stays together long enough to make it to LaGrange, you're looking at about 2 hours before it gets over there. These storms are moving really slow. Brittany says that she had some pea-sized hail right on the Randolph County, Chambers County line. That's from this storm right here that's still in progress from about Welch up to Bacon Level. And that's kind of moving right toward Bacon Level. So heads up Bacon Level. Yeah, things are good in Wedowee and Hawk and Woodland. The city of Roanoke's fine right now. But we still have other storms out there. You see this stuff down here in Tallapoosa County moving northeast. That's going to clip southern and southeastern Randolph, I think. So Wadley, Dickert, Roanoke, Rock Mills, Bacon Level, Broaden Ridge. You're probably going to see some of this storm as it moves off to the northeast. I think Wedowee and Woodland will be fine from this storm down here. But look what's happening back over here in Shelby County, or Tallapoosa County. I'm sorry, I'll get it right in a minute. Talladega. That's Talladega County. So we got a big storm over there at Childersburg. And then we got one just south of Talladega. This is all moving off to the east-northeast. Probably will stay away from Wedowee, but the northeast corner of Randolph and certainly northern Clay could see these storms in the next hour and a half. So until we completely lose the heating of the day, which won't be until after sunset, these storms are going to continue. There's no reason for them not to. But again, and I see some folks posting about it. We went on about an hour and a half ago warning folks about these storms coming into East Alabama, and I said it time and time again, the biggest threat from these storms this afternoon is the dangerous lightning. Well, unfortunately, we are hearing that multiple people were struck by lightning at Flat Rock Park about the time I was talking about that storm over Lake Wedowee. And now I'm seeing that Clay County News has confirmed on Facebook that 2 people were struck by lightning at Flat Rock Park. I was told that it was 4, and that 1 was receiving CPR, and that 3 were okay. They were just jolted by the lightning, and that the person that was receiving CPR was revived. That's unconfirmed. I cannot confirm that, but that's the information I received. And I certainly hope that that's true, that the person was revived and that person is going to be fine. But the point of the matter here is, folks, these are all things that are preventable. And that's what drives me to do what I do, is to try to help people understand, these are all things that you think happen to somebody else, somewhere else. You don't think that they can happen to you, and it's preventable. If it was something we couldn't prevent, then, we would just have to take it with a grain of salt and live on. But being struck by lightning and being killed in a mobile home during a tornado outbreak are all preventable things. I cringe when I hear someone say, well, when it's my time, it's my time. No. God gave you a brain for a reason. Use it. And when these storms come up like this, seek shelter. Don't stay out in the open, especially somewhere like Flat Rock. Be weather aware. If you're going to go somewhere like that, fantastic. I love Flat Rock. Used to love to go there all the time. But I check the weather forecast before I go. And if there's a decent chance of severe weather, then I keep watching the sky. I keep a radio on. I check my Facebook page to see if Dr. Don's talking about severe weather in the area. And then when it gets close and I start hearing thunder, getting my family up in the car and we gone. is preventable. So anyway, got off on my soapbox there for just a minute, which I never do. Severe thunderstorm warning for Tallapoosa County. The main reason we are here talking to you right now. This warning goes out until 5:15 this afternoon. This is for a severe thunderstorm that is now just to the east of Alexander City. And moving off to the east, northeast. Radar thinks that it's moving at 30 miles per hour. I'm not so sure it's moving quite that fast. We're now showing an 80% chance of hail and a 30% chance of severe hail at 3/4 of an inch. So I know we got a lot of folks in Alexander City. I'm going to look at the board here and see if we're getting any kind of reports out of Alexander City. Yeah, I don't see anything. That's either good or bad. Either there's nothing really happening in Alexander City or they've lost everything. Let's hope there's nothing really happening in Alexander City. Let's see if we've got any wind. Yeah, we do. We have a couple of pockets where we could be having some wind gust. One of them's right there around the storm center. Though that's very, very broad. Could be some wind right there around the storm center, and then also just to the west of Buxton. Maybe a little wind right there as well. All right, so there's a good report from Kalen. Very windy and thunder in Jackson Gap at the moment. So that makes sense. Here's Jackson's Gap right here. And here's the wind moving off to the east-northeast. So that coincides with what we're looking at on radar very well. Thank you, Kalen. I appreciate that report. Kim's reporting some pretty heavy lightning up there around Bacon Level. You're welcome, Ruth Earl. Thank you for watching us. Thank you, David. Thanks, Crystal. I appreciate that. All right, so the question from Kim is this storm down here in Alexander City going to take the same path through Bacon Level and Standing Rock? Probably a little south. This one is probably going to stay a little bit south. When the storm first formed back over here in Coosa, it had more of a northeastern component to it. But now it looks like, because the atmosphere has been raked over so good already up here in southern Randolph, I think that the majority of this one is going to, I mean, if you're right there on the Chambers-Randolph County line, I mean, like within a mile or two of the Randolph County, Chambers County line, you could see at the northern edge of this. But I think the bulk of it stays in Chambers County. Forkland, Alabama. Gene. Well, welcome to us, Gene. I appreciate you joining us here on Dr. Don's weather page. Gene is over there in southwest Alabama, just north of Demopolis. Yeah, I had to look it up right quick, Gene. I'm sorry. I pride myself on knowing where every little bitty crossroad is in the state of Alabama, especially in central and south Alabama, because that's where I spent most of my time. But I have heard of Forkland. I had to look it up, though. Forkland's over here between Demopolis and Utah. And that is the Birmingham radar that we're looking at. So, Gene, you're good. Now, you do got some stuff over there in Mississippi that you'll have to keep an eye on the next couple of hours. But for the time being, Forkland, Alabama is looking pretty good. Most of the action's over here in East Alabama. And now it's kind of shifted down here into Tallapoosa County. Though this stuff over in Talladega, about to come into Chambers County. Got another small but heavy cell there just west of Millerville. It's got a lot of lightning in it. All that stuff that came through Clay and Randolph earlier, moving on into Georgia. Pretty good thunderstorms right there at the National Weather Service office at Peachtree City. And about to move into Southwest Metro. And let's go back up here to my hood because I'm getting some warnings around me as well. And I guess I need to look at that. So let me switch radars right quick. All right, so this is looking at Atlanta radar. Yeah, see, I'm right here. So we got a pretty heavy thunderstorm up there just north of Helen, right along the White County, Towns County line. Pretty heavy thunderstorm over there in northern Lumpkin County. Nice thunderstorm down here in Dawsonville. That's coming right at Dahlonega. And then just south of Gainesville down here in southern Hall County, northern Gwinnett County, pretty good storm. Thunderstorm over there in Banks County near Homer and down there around Commerce, right on the Banks County, Jackson County line. And then northwest Georgia's got pretty good storms going on too, from Dawsonville to Jasper up to Ellijay. And down there around Canton. Question about Dadeville. And yes, this storm will affect Dadeville. There's Dadeville right there. Well, I say it will. You're on the southern end of this severe thunderstorm warning. And understand, this is not the entire county of Tallapoosa that's in the warning. Actually, they've moved the box over a little bit since the last time we looked at it. So Alexander City, you're in the clear. This warning now is for Dadeville up to Jackson Gap to just south of New Site to just south of Daviston. The core of this storm is staying right in the center of Tallapoosa County and it's moving just a shade bit north of due east. So now that we've seen this thing update several times, I think it's safe to say that Randolph, you're not going to see much out of this one. And that's because, if you'll remember 3 or 4 loops ago, this storm extended much further to the north. All this green up here was red about 15 minutes ago when it was back over here around Goodwater. But you've gotten a tremendous amount of rain and thunderstorm activity already up here in southern Clay and southern Randolph. So that has helped to stabilize the atmosphere. The atmosphere up here in southern Randolph and southern Clay has been raked over pretty good this afternoon already. So there's not a whole lot of energy up here to work with. So as this storm blew up over here in Coosa and stretched almost up into Clay County and looked as though it was moving that way, overall it is and continues to. But there's no energy up there for the northern end of the storm to work with. So that part of the storm is kind of weakened as the storm has moved off to the east-northeast. But down here in central Tallapoosa County, there hasn't been a whole lot of rain this afternoon. So that part of the storm is holding together pretty good. And I think we're going to see the same thing over here in Chambers County. Hasn't been a whole lot of action there so far today. So that atmosphere is still pretty juicy, and I think this storm will hold together. The towns that will receive the heaviest from this storm as it moves into Chambers, northeast Chambers has already had a round or two. So I'm thinking from Milltown to Pennon to Buffalo to Lafayette, and then maybe down to around Oak Bowery. Probably not quite that far south, because we've got storms down there already. Casita, Valley, Lynette, West Point, already getting some pretty good storms over there. So I think the bulk of this storm stays in Chambers County. Now we will watch with interest to see if the National Weather Service extends the severe thunderstorm warning into Chambers County. And if they're going to do that, that decision should be in the process of being made right now. We do have a 100% chance of hail in this storm, with a 30% probability of severe hail. That's pretty significant, and the blue that you see would most likely be the areas of significant hail, while the pink areas would be hail in general. The blues would be where the severe hail is, if there is any. And you folks in Budston, anywhere in eastern Tallapoosa County, from Daviston down to just north of Highway 50, is where this storm is moving into. And just as I said that, here comes a special weather statement from the National Weather Service office in Birmingham, Alabama. This is going to be for Chambers County. And they are going with a significant weather advisory, not a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's an indication this storm is not as well organized as it was about 45 minutes ago, and I concur with that. Even though it is showing pretty good hail core there, the overall structure of the storm looks a little ragged compared to what it looked like about 45 minutes ago. So here's the text of this just coming from the National Weather Service: a significant weather advisory for western Chambers County until 5:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 4:56 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Doppler weather radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm near Ridge Grove, or 7 miles north of Camp Hill, moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. Winds in excess of 40 miles per hour will be possible with this storm. Locations impacted could include Lafayette. It's funny, they've got Lafayette spelled two different ways. Chambers County Lake, Pennon, Trammell Crossroads, Ridge Grove, Buffalo, and West Chambers. Torrential rainfall is also occurring with this storm and may lead to localized flooding. Frequent cloud-to-ground lightning is also occurring with this storm. Yeah, we know that. We've been talking about lightning all day long, and we've already had at least one person struck by lightning up at Flat Rock Park on Lake Wedowee about an hour and 15 minutes ago. So, folks, please take heed to the warning. If you are ahead of this storm and it's moving in your direction, seek shelter inside, or at least get into your automobile. Automobile's not a bad place to be during a lightning storm. It's not the best place to be. Inside your home is the best place to be, or a sturdy structure. But at least your automobile does offer you protection. If you're standing outside under a tree or out on a big piece of granite stuck out in the middle of a lake, that's dangerous. And so we're looking at the core of this storm about to move into Chambers. Lightning strikes running around 22 to 23 strikes in the last 2 minutes. And that seems to be lessening, which is an indication that this storm is beginning to weaken. That's still pretty significant, though, to have that many lightning strikes in that short a period of time. Here comes another one of my young'uns not paying attention to me being on the air live. I'm not going to call out which one it was, but she lives in North Carolina. So I got to get my chat screen back up where I can see it. Where did he go? There it is. Yeah, Gene, I agree with you. That's I typically do not do live coverage for significant weather advisories. Normally when I go live on Facebook, we got some serious weather around, and not to minimize what's going on today. This certainly is. The lightning is what's so significant about today's storms. But I don't like to cry wolf. So I don't go live unless I think there's a life-threatening situation going on, or potentially a life-threatening situation. But because it's Father's Day, because it's beautiful, because it's so warm, because we've all been held up inside for so many weeks because of this COVID-19 thing, my fear was there would be an unusually large number of people outside today. And given the severity of the lightning in these storms, all of those things factored into my decision to go ahead and do some live coverage this afternoon. And literally was speaking of Lake Wedowee when I saw the message pop up from an extremely reliable source, I might add, that multiple people had just been struck by lightning at Flat Rock Park, and that one was receiving CPR. And that just breaks my heart, because that's why I'm here. This can be prevented. You just have to be aware of what's going on. So I feel your concern, Gene. Exactly, point well taken. Exactly why I'm here doing what I'm doing today. And thank you to all of you who are wishing me a happy Father's Day. I greatly appreciate that. So Dana says the core of the storm just came over Budston, and I concur with that. That's why I've been calling you out, because it's coming right over you. Maybe a mile to the south of the heart of downtown metropolitan Budston, but it's coming right over that area. 90% chance of hail, 10% chance that it is severe. But lots of lightning. You see all those lightning strikes. And when you see a flash, when you see that big bright flash, that's a brand new lightning strike that just came in. That was a significant strike right there. That was 1.1 minutes ago, just to the southeast of Budston. That was a big lightning strike. The bigger the lightning icon, the stronger the energy from the lightning strike, too. By the way. And I know it's hard to see on your cell phone. That's another reason why you need to subscribe to Dr. Don's weather page on YouTube. Because if you have a smart TV, guess what you can watch on your smart TV? You can watch YouTube. So guess what you can blow up to 55 or 65 or 75 inches? Dr. Don's weather page. And we've got our internet issues straightened out to the point now to where our resolution is there, and it looks fantastic on a large screen TV. So I encourage you, if you don't have the YouTube app downloaded on your smart TV, download it. And then go to Dr. Don's weather page on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel so that when we go live, you'll get notified and you can watch us on your big screen TV, so you don't have to sit there and squint your eyes to try to see exactly where that storm's at, because it's hard to see on a cell phone. I understand that. Janet was asking the question about Clay County. You're okay now. If you're in western Clay, you're probably hearing some thunder again. I'll show that to you. This is a storm that is centered still to the east of Childersburg, but we've got a new marker just popped up just southwest of Hatchet Creek, or west of Millerville. 90% chance of hail with a 20% chance of it being severe. So here you go again, especially southern Clay County, southern Clay County. A lot of lightning between Sylacauga and Millerville, and then back up to around Childersburg, and over there around Wilsonville. It's not severe. There are no statements from the National Weather Service on it at the moment. Randolph County, you're good. Majority of Clay is good, except for this storm over there in southwestern Clay. And that's going to put that in motion just for a second. Take just a second for all the loops to load. And I actually think that this one may be moving due east. It looks more like it. I know it's moving across there fast, but early in that loop, all the lightning strikes were going northeast. Then here in the last couple of loops, it looks like everything's kind of sinking southeast now. So, Ashland, you might get in on the northern end of this. Lineville, I think you'll be spared, though you may see a little light rain from it. I think the bulk of this goes right into Millerville, and maybe Wadley. And we'll have to see what happens after that. But it may come right across northern Tallapoosa and into northern Chambers, maybe southern Randolph as well. But again now, this area down here, southern Clay, southern Randolph, northern Tallapoosa, and northern Chambers, has already been raked over pretty good, at least once, in some locations 2 or 3 times today. So as this storm gets over here into this more stable air, you may see this thing weaken. So right now, it's pretty respectable, but it may weaken as we go throughout the next hour or so. Boy, look at this mess over here in West Georgia. Severe thunderstorm warning up there for severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette County in north central Georgia and east central Coweta County in west central Georgia until 6:30 Eastern. That is right over the National Weather Service office. And then down here in southern Troup, and you folks up in LaGrange have not seen a whole lot today. But along and south of I-85, it's just been storming for the last hour or two. I-185, not a good ride at all from the Harris County line all the way up to the 85 interchange. Wet ride. Back down to Lynette. Especially the north side of Lynette getting hammered with some pretty good heavy rain there. The Kia Motors plant. I-85, a bad ride from Lynette all the way, really all the way up to the LaGrange exit. And And as this continues to move to the north and northeast, it's going to encompass the rest of I-85. So not a good ride on I-85. Auburn's still looking pretty good, even though we're beginning to see some stuff down here around Notasulga and Lochapoka that will move in the general direction of Auburn. So we may see some rain there before the afternoon's over with. Things are getting a little bit better now in Opelika. North Auburn, you got some rain up there around Gold Hill, Oak Bowery. Just to the southwest of Waverly, back over around Bama Park, Stillwaters, Camp Hill. And then the main reason we're still here with you, the severe thunderstorm warning for Tallapoosa County, which will expire here in about 5 minutes. And then we probably will leave you unless we get another severe alert. And then we have a special weather statement for Chambers County. So the National Weather Service electing to replace this warning with a special weather statement instead of extending it over into Chambers County, which is an indication that while this storm is still strong, and you certainly still need to pay attention to it and seek shelter and stay away from this lightning, it is not as strong as it was about an hour ago back over in western Tallapoosa County. Still got a lot of lightning with that storm, but look at this mess over here in southwest Clay. That's a lot of lightning too, some big lightning strikes too. So just in the last 2 minutes, we've had 36 lightning strikes in this area. These are big ones. All right, we got to get that off the screen. Good gracious, that's from way over there. All right. So I'm gonna go back and look at the comments. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, good time now to put them up there. And we're going to watch this for a few more minutes until this warning expires for Tallapoosa County. And then take another peek at this stuff over here in Clay County and Talladega before we get out of here. Sharon, I would not say you're in the clear for the evening. But things certainly look a lot better. I think this storm up here in Clay and Talladega stays north of you as it slips off to the southeast. I don't see anything downstream that's threatening for Alexander City right now. That's not to say that something can't develop. It certainly could. But you had a pretty good one just come through there. So you're now in the same boat as some of the other communities to the north of you. Your atmosphere has been raked over pretty good. So I would not expect anything like what you've already seen for the remainder of the night, but another passing shower or two is not out of the question. But to say you're completely out of the woods, I couldn't say that just yet. Hey, Brother Derek B. Farr, thank you, sir. Thank you for what you do. We support you. Yeah, LaGrange is rocking and rolling right now. Back over there to Troup County. Yeah, most of the lightning strikes that you're hearing and seeing in LaGrange proper is out there around I-85. That's where literally lined up right along I-85. And I know it looks like that storm's moving north-northwest. But I don't think it is. I think what's happening is it's back building and pretty much become stationary right along I-85. I think may have run into an old boundary front down there. So it may rain for a while down there in southern Troup County. It may actually make it up into LaGrange proper too before the day's over with. You see this thing coming out of Coosa into Chambers is really losing a lot of its coverage. This storm down here just to the west of Casita, I think may be robbing this one of some of its energy because this one is becoming the dominant cell now. Just to the west of Casita, while this one up here around Budston appears to be weakening. And we have lost the severe thunderstorm warning for Alexander City. Thank you, Mackenzie. I appreciate the kind words. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up for our coverage. Again, if we were to get any more severe thunderstorm warnings, we'll come back to you. Again, though, right quick before we get out of here, we've already had some folks struck by lightning this afternoon. So please take this warning and listen to it and protect yourself, folks. I mean, this is something you can do. It's your choice. Lots of lightning still occurring over there near Sylacauga in southeast Talladega County, I'm sorry. And then also in extreme southwest Clay County. Lots of lightning taking place right there along the Clay County, Talladega County line. Don't be outside in this. Get in your automobile if you don't have any other options, or inside of a sturdy structure, and stay away from windows and electrical appliances until the storm passes. And let's get through this thing safe. But if we get any more warnings or anything else changes, I'll be back with you. I've got to go get your primetime forecast ready because we got lots of opportunities for rain and showers and thunderstorms pretty much for the entire upcoming week. So I've got to get your primetime forecast put together, and I'll have that uploaded. Normally it goes up by now, but with this coverage this afternoon, it's going to delay things. So hopefully within the next hour and a half, I'll have your primetime forecast up, and we'll come back and give you more severe weather coverage as conditions warrant on Dr. Don's weather page.